We appreciate everybody attending here in Brookhaven. It's our 7th Coca-Cola Challenge presented by Powerade. And normally my buddy from Chasing Foul Balls, Neil Randall, handles this job as the MC, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to be with us today. So it'll fall back on my job to take care of it, so we'll do what we can with it. Most of y'all know, it's been with us all these years. The Powerade Challenge is a 4-game baseball series between Southwest Community College Bears and the Copiah-Lincoln Community College Wolves. The winner of the challenge gets the trophy and bragging rights for the next year. Trophy for the last 2 years have been in the hands of the Southwest Community College Bears. We'll give you a little bit more information about the challenge as we go through here this afternoon. First of all, I don't know if it's about the first time you've ever been up here with us, hasn't it? Mr. James Brumfield with Coca-Cola and Mr. Gary Nelson with Coca-Cola with us. We appreciate their work in the Coca-Cola Challenge of sponsoring it and also everything else they do as far as helping out with the challenge. Members of the media here with us today, we appreciate y'all coming from B92, the Boulevard 104.3, and Buyer's Guide, Mike Smith and Ken Hollingsworth. Thanks, guys, for being with us. From the Daily Leader, Mr. Tom Getz and his wife, thank y'all for being with us today. From K106 and K106.net, Benji Embry with us, who was with us back in Macomb. And with the camera to my right, our Backyard TV and the new sports magazine that will be distributed for the first time in April in Southwest Mississippi Sports Journal, Mr. Eddie McCaleb with us. And guys, we appreciate all the work y'all have done to help us promote the challenge. The Coca-Cola Challenge presented by Powerade, best of 4 games in the South Division MACJC play. The first doubleheader this coming Wednesday, March 14th, up at Colin at Sullivan Stadium. First pitch about 3 o'clock. Now the back end of that 4-game set is scheduled on Good Friday, April 6th. It'll be at Bear Park and Summit. First pitch of the series there will be at 2 o'clock. Again, most of y'all have been with us, so the rules of the challenge are very simple. The team that wins the best of the 4 games wins the trophy. They get bragging rights for the year. Our rules on split, if the 4 games are split 2 apiece, the team holding the trophy continues to keep it. That would be Southwest keeping the trophy again if we end up split at 2 games apiece. Now, in addition to the trophy, Coca-Cola makes the donation of each player a T-shirt that will be used for batting practice at both places. And also they make a financial contribution to each team, and they also provide our giveaways that we do in between the innings to make the game day experience a little bit better at the ballparks. And we appreciate all they do there. This year we've had a little bit different. Normally Powerade has their kickoff with a college team for their spring and summer activities. This year Mr. Brumfield and Mr. Nelson was kind enough to make the challenge their kickoff for Powerade for the summer. As you see the different pieces up here of posters and shelf toppers that they have made the challenge their kickoff for the spring and summer year. It's a promotion that we, with the grocery stores and convenience stores in the Southwest Mississippi and part of Louisiana. Unfortunately, we do not have them in the Brookhaven area, but Mr. Brumfield will talk about that in just a few minutes. Hopefully we'll get that worked out. The name of the promotion is a Family Day Experience at the Coca-Cola Challenge. It's the April 16th doubleheader. We're giving 2 families the opportunity to be part of the game. That includes being down on the field before the game and actually the youngsters having a chance to work out with the players. They'll also go out on the field with the players for the national anthem. Each family will have 1 game at the series at Macomb to throw out the first ball on. Each winner, each family will receive a jersey from both Colin and Southwest. They will also receive a cap from each team, a signed baseball from each team, and then they will also win a ice chest full of Powerade. And if you haven't been to Bear Park since the start of the year, our Chasing Foul Balls group raised the money and we built a left field lounge out past the left field area. It's a big deck that's 10 by 30, 2 levels. We've had some great fun out there already with the baseball games there. It's because of one of our folks resides from Amite County, it's become known more as the shed than anything else. He said anything with a tin roof had to be called a shed, so we went along with him on that. But they will also get to go out there and eat with our guys out there in between games. So it's a great promotion. It goes through the 31st of March when we'll draw a winner. And you can register at any, most grocery stores and convenience stores in Southwest Mississippi. A little bit different also, the game has been moved up to the first game of South Division play for these two teams. We've been set in the middle or toward the end of the season when this series has been played. This year, it is the first game of South Division play for both Colin and Southwest, and we all know how important it is to get off to a good start in division play. So that puts a little more importance also on these two games. And then on the backside, back at Southwest on the final two games, we've always played our final day on a Saturday. Well, this year, it's Good Friday. It's when it will be played. First time we went back and looked, the first time we've ever played the final two games not on a Saturday. It's on a Friday this year. It's Good Friday, so that's a little bit different for us as far as the challenge goes. A couple of things before we bring our guest up here to speak to y'all for just a second. We want to make sure folks understand that Chasing Foul Balls, it's our 7th year to be part of this. We got into it on two reasons. When we were talking to some folks and visiting with coaches, that we did not feel like that the awareness of community college baseball and the level of play that was being played at community college baseball was being appreciated by the folks in the area. In fact, we felt like a lot of folks didn't know the quality of baseball that was being played in the Southwest Mississippi area. So we wanted to raise the awareness of it by featuring these 4 games and maybe getting folks to come out for their first time to see a community college baseball game. And the second part was we've talked about to these guys, you know, money's tight. That's all we all know that, even 7 years ago when we started this thing. And by being able to make a financial contribution to each of these teams, it helps the student athlete and the coaches with some money to do some things with that they would not have been able to do. The backside of that is the media coverage that we've been able to provide has let a lot more people know about Southwest and Colin baseball with our coverage of this year. The games will be heard on K106 and the Boulevard 104.3. They'll be on the internet at K106.net, SouthwestBearAthletics.com, ColinAthletics.com. You can hear the games on your smartphone. You can download the TuneIn app, search for K106 radio station. You can hear it there. And also this year, new to it for the first time, Colin will webcast the 2 ball games at their park on Wednesday. So you'll be able to go to ColinAthletics.com, not only listen to it, but able to watch the ball games there. So we appreciate the work of Natalie Davis and her group to provide video of those 2 ball games up there. On the backside of the money end of it, we went back and figured, going in our 7th year after we make the contribution this year, almost $14,000 have been divided between these 2 teams, and we feel like that has really helped these 2 teams also. I want to introduce a few folks here today. Natalie Davis was with us in Macomb. She had to leave, the Public Information Director at Colin and the Sports Information Director there. As we talked about, the Lady Wolves are playing up at Mississippi College in the Region 23 semifinal. She's gone up there to cover that. Brenda Smith was with us. She's headed to the same spot. Brenda is the Dean of Students at Colin. We're glad she was able to stop by and visit with us. Here with us, Gary Nelson to my left from Macomb Coca-Cola Bottling Company, and Mr. James Brumfield from Macomb Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Also, Mr. Michael Gunnell, the Sports Information Director from Southwest Community College, is with us, and Assistant Coach Ken Jackson from Southwest also there in the back with us. We'll let the coaches introduce their players. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, one thing that I love standing up here with both places I've been able to see is the quality of folks we have representing these 2 schools. I'm going to tell you what, we always talk, you always hear about the bad things that happen. The athletes doing the right thing, the wrong thing. Standing here, looking at these guys in the back, it really shows you the type of student athlete you have representing community colleges here in Mississippi. And I think we ought to be proud of the folks that we have here with us today. I tell you, we'll reverse it. Since we're here, we'll let the visitors come first. The head coach of the Southwest Bears, Mr. Lee Kirkendall. The Bears right now, record of 6 wins and 8 losses. Had a 4-game winning streak snapped on Wednesday. Southwest has a really busy week coming up next game week. If the weather will hold off, they got 8 games scheduled in 6 days. Southwest will host St. Charles on Monday for a doubleheader. They're here up at Colin on Wednesday for the challenge. On Friday, they're back home with Illinois Central College, and then on Saturday, they'll host East Central in their second South Division doubleheader. The head coach of the Bears, Mr. Lee Kirkendall. Thank you, sir.
Well, after a great lunch, I noticed that several people for the pictures at the Macomb press conference, a lot of people were sucking in the midsection a little bit, probably a little bit more so this time for the older group of us. Noticed Will Gatlin from Brookhaven during the first press conference, he was sucking his in a little bit too, and I told these young guys they don't have to do that yet. They're still young enough they can get by without doing that for a photo, but you had a great lunch here, and we appreciate everything that's put together for this press conference, both here and in Macomb. It's a great deal for our programs and also for the players that they get to come and take part in this. Not only the games, but also the guys from each school that get to come and take part in this press conference. And sometimes if they don't know how big a deal this is to the communities, getting to start this off with a press conference and kind of begin to understand the level that all of this has come to with the addition of Coca-Cola being the title sponsor. And in all ways, we want to thank the guys from the Chasing Foul Ball Sports Talk Show who got the whole thing started several years ago, and has been obviously a great thing for both institutions. So with that being said, getting to seasons and how things have gone for both clubs. As always, the series itself has always been competitive and will remain so, just as every game is in our South Division. We got 7 schools in the division who all are really good, have good facilities and good players, and it's quite a battle throughout the entire season with that division. So we've gotten off to an uneven start with our group. We've had some really good games and had some rough ones. We've played well at times in all 3 phases of the game, and then we've played poorly at times. So hopefully we're getting close to putting it together. Again, we've had some good ones recently, and even the 2 games that we lost the other day were well played, really well played college baseball games. 2 great pitching performances from Mississippi Delta pitchers resulted in a 3-2 really close game, and then a 5-2 game that was a 4-2 2-run baseball game going into the last inning. So really competitive, and we're looking forward to the rest of our season to see what all we can do with our group. And with that being said, I want to introduce these players that we have with us today. Starting on my right-hand side, Alex Marshall. Alex is a sophomore infielder, played at St. Patrick High School from Gulfport, Mississippi. Luke Gibson, he's an infielder. Also played with us last year. He's a sophomore now. Played at Purvis High School. Shelby Johnson's a sophomore returning pitcher. He is from Macomb and Park Lane Academy. And then the last, right there beside Shelby, is Herman Hayes. Herman Hayes is a 2-year starter for us. Sophomore, played at Oak Forest in Amite, Louisiana, by way of Culiacan, Mexico. Herman's aunt has lived in the U.S. in Amite, Louisiana for over 30 years, and so many years ago Herman had the opportunity to come over here to the U.S. and attend Oak Forest, and he's as all of these 4 guys here, he's a great student, and all of our sophomores that we have got a really large sophomore class. They all are great students. Last year, if freshmen had been eligible for academic awards, we would have had 9 All-State Academic Award winners, and 2 of those 9 would have been Academic All-Americans. So they've continued to do well this year, and obviously helped us have a great GPA at the end of the fall. We had a 3.14 team GPA at the end of the fall, and 3 of those sophomore members had 4.0s this past fall semester. 2 of those 3s have maintained a perfect 4.0 throughout their entire time at Southwest. So these guys have not only been good for our program on the field, but they've been great students off the field and represent us very well from our institution. Again, just we can't say enough about James and Gary, what Coca-Cola has done for this series, for both institutions, and obviously it feels like even more so from us, obviously, because they are housed right there in Macomb, and I know it adds a lot to our ballpark whenever they do some things for us, and I know it's been great for both institutions. Robbie mentioned the amount of fundraising money that they've helped both institutions with over the period of years that the challenge has been going, and obviously for small college programs, any amount of fundraising that's added to your program that can help with offsetting the cost of equipment, offsetting the cost of field maintenance, and other equipment have to be used for those facilities is very important. And like Robbie says, a lot of people have not really seen the level of play or seen the type of facilities that everyone in our league has. So we all spend a great amount of time with our facilities to make sure they are top notch. And I know every time we have someone come out to our ballpark and they happen to talk to us about what they see and what they witness, they're always pleasantly surprised at the level of play and how everything looks, how the games are run from an administrative standpoint with music and just making it a great experience at the ballpark. I know about 2 years ago we had a Little League group that came out to our park, and we had a Little League day at the ballpark where they all went onto the field for the national anthem and stayed and watched at least the first game of the doubleheader. And I know one of the dads, who was a local person but didn't have a tie with Southwest as far as where he went to school, and had never been. He also was a Mississippi Braves season ticket holder, and he was, again, pleasantly surprised at what he saw that day. And he said, "Coach, I'm going to tell you guys, we're still going to buy our Braves season tickets, but I'll tell you what, we're probably going to wait until May and June now to start going to those games, because our April month will be, instead of going to Braves games, we're going to be coming here and watching you guys play, because it's a tremendous atmosphere." And obviously we were very surprised to see the quality of play on the field. So like Robbie says all the time, for all of our schools in the state, a lot of people may not realize the great play that's there, but it's evident if you look at all of the programs where these guys move on after their sophomore year, be it to the four-year level and even some to professional baseball, that we've got quite a good thing going with community college baseball. I know we have a former player of ours, Gerard Dyson, who this past year was his first year to start the season with the big league club, the Kansas City Royals, but he did get a call up at the end of the year before, which would have been 2010. So he will be at spring training now, and hopefully he once again will start off the major league season in the outfield for the Kansas City Royals. He has he's unfortunately had a couple of stars that have been in their outfield for the past couple of years that have kind of relegated him to being somewhat of a role player on the major league level. But his last full year in AAA, he led their league in stolen bases, and they all have said that he is the fastest player in the Royals organization. And he's obviously one of the faster players in Major League Baseball at this point in time. So obviously Copiah Lincoln has had other guys that have, out of their program as well, have gone on to play professional baseball and had great careers. Usually Robbie tries to get one or both coaches to come out ahead of time and admit who are going to be the starting pitchers. Coach Case has already talked about at the Macomb press conference it might be a game day decision, and I was a little disappointed because normally whenever we're hit one of these things, when we ask who's going to start for Colin, he usually says Belanger and Belanger. And for those of you that know the history of Copiah Lincoln baseball, those are two guys that were two of the better pitchers that he's had, and obviously went on to do great things. And so we always think that's a normal routine here at the conference, the press conference, that we're going to see the two Belangers starting the first game of the series. So we know it'll be a competitive series, and as usual have great crowds at both places. And I know we're all looking forward to it. And to all of you guys that are here from the Brookhaven media, we appreciate you guys coming and supporting us also.
Thank you, Lee. The home team in this part of our press conference from Copiah Lincoln Community College Wolves, a record of 12 wins and 3 losses, 1 tie. Wolves have won 5 in a row. They have 2 South Division doubleheaders at home this next week. They will take on Colin and Southwest on Wednesday in the challenge. And then what is Hines, I believe it is, at home this a week from tomorrow. They will be there. Also, Coach Keith Case will come speak to us. Coach Case won his 600th game as head coach of the Colin Wolves last Sunday when they beat Kellogg, Michigan. Congratulations, Coach, on 600 wins. Come tell us a little bit about your Wolves. I thought I got to start.
All right, no Belanges are starting. We're bringing Robbie out of retirement. He says he's got the knuckleball, and we're going to put him out there.
3 semesters left.
You got 3 semesters. Maybe 3 semesters to get 1 inning in. Look, we're here, and we're glad that everyone's here in Brookhaven. And Mr. Thomas, Lori, Ken, we appreciate y'all being here. Weren't down in Macomb. Thank you. Gary, Mr. James. Everything you do seems like, and we want you in this market because everything you touch is kind of big league. It really puts the success level up, and we're glad to be a part of this challenge that y'all put that style to it. Chasing foul ball guys.
Watch it.
They come in with the energy. You know, I'm fortunate enough on Wednesday nights to be on with them a few times, and you never know what questions are going to be asked. It's kind of scary at times. We've got 3 of our guys. They're from right here in the Lincoln County area. Freshman pitcher, Corey Allen. Sophomore pitcher, Cody Smith. Both those guys are Lloyd Star products. And then from Brookhaven Academy, first baseman, Will Gatlin. And glad to have them here. I know we talked earlier about guys getting out of class. Believe it or not, these were the only 3 that didn't have an 8 or 9 o'clock class. And so they were able to make the trip with us this morning. They didn't know they were going to get to eat, so I think they're smiling now, okay? The challenge, there's a lot of things that are a little different. You know, a lot of things are going to remain the same. It's still Colin, it's still Southwest. We know each other, we're close, and you got a little rivalry there. The adrenaline gets to going. You know, just enjoy that. The things that are a little different. Yeah, we open up South Division with each other. That's different. Those division games are crucial. They're tough. The tempo, the speed of the game picks up a little bit more. Another thing that's different on both times, next week is spring break. Then when we go to Southwest later in the year, it's Good Friday. So it's almost like it's a holiday each day. And, you know, with students not being on campus, we really want the public out there because it's a good environment, it's competitive, and the energy we talked about, I think both teams bring it. And it's fun baseball. It's going to be tough for Colin to get that trophy back, just to be honest, because anytime you win 3 out of 4 in the South, you've done something major. And that's with any of the 7 clubs that are in the South. So we've got our work cut out for us. We've got some guys that are nicked with some injuries right now, and we still haven't decided on a rotation, and that's honest there. You know, it would be good if I could come out and tell you 1 and 2 who's going to go Wednesday, but we've got you guys from Southwest Wednesday, and then we've got Hines on Saturday. So we've got a long road to hoe come next week. But we do appreciate it, and hopefully we're going to have good weather and have a good crowd out and big, good games of baseball. Thank you.
Thank you. Also from Macomb Coca-Cola, as you know, we talk about them. They stepped in about 3 years ago and picked up our challenge as far as the title sponsor of it, has kept it going. They have added to it. If you'll take a look before you leave out of here on these posters that are on this front table, this is some of the sales merchandise they have used in the market in Southwest Mississippi and Louisiana to promote their Family Day experience at the challenge. We sure appreciate all that, and we appreciate everything Mr. Brumfield, Mr. Nelson has done to help us out. James Brumfield from Coca-Cola.
Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, sir.
Not to say much of what I said this morning, other than I do want to talk about this to our friends and neighbors from Lincoln County, Brookhaven. I would think next year that we will be able to put this out in the market. It may not be our market, but I think we're working to that where we're getting closer with our sister baller in Jackson that covers this area. We do not have this franchise area. We come to the county line. And so we have this out through our territory, but we are making some connections and just a few logistics that we had to work out. So next year I think that we'll have this in the market up here, Coach, and hopefully that you'll be seeing somebody a little bit more often from our neighbors up the road with this, and hopefully we can take it one step further with the Powerade Challenge for next year. We're glad to be a part of it. It means a lot to us, as I told you earlier. Anytime we get to promote our young people, young athletes, to help them in any way in these great institutions. Only thing that could be better, I guess I would tell you, is that we had Coca in our territory also. Because I'm all in the business. We're all in the business about selling Coca-Cola, and Powerade. So, don't make a mistake. We're glad to be a part of it. And Mr. Gannell, you don't need to ever forget that, okay? Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dad. Appreciate it. We're reminded that regularly in our market. Y'all just missed that up here. We're giving that a lecture quite often about that. But all joking aside, James and Gary really, when he picked it up, it was on kind of a spur of a moment thing we went and talked about 2 years or 3 years ago. And then he said at that point, well, we want to grow it. If we don't be the sponsor of it, we want to make it better. Hey, Marty. And they have done exactly what they said. They've made it better. Just take a look at what they've added to it and what we're doing with it now. And we're so proud of the challenge we got. Again, before we close, the guides will be available for pictures and interviews if anybody wants to talk to them as soon as we finish here. First pitch of game 1 is at Colin, 3 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. The second game of that doubleheader gets started around 5:45. Games 3 and 4 is at Southwest on Good Friday. That's April 6th. First pitch of that doubleheader now is at 2 o'clock. Game 2 will start for the Powerade Game Day Experience giveaway and all that around about 4:45. We will have the winners of our Game Day Experience there that day to throw out the first pitches at those 2 games. We hope everybody will get out and register. Again, from this area, if you're down in our area for any reason, make sure you stop by one of the participating grocery stores or convenience stores and register. We'll still be glad to have you and have you as a winner. Finally, just come out and enjoy the challenge. It's as we talked about earlier, it's been talked about quite a few times up here. We got into it because we wanted to see community college baseball get their proper due here as far as the product they have on the field. We continue to have folks come up to us after the games, as Lee talked about, and talk about, well, I've never been to a community college game, but I would definitely be back after seeing the fun that I not only had at the ballpark, but the quality of play that was there.